And voila, we're on. We're on air. I'm here back in the power room. You guys have seen this room before, probably quite a few times. This is basically the heart of the whole homestead right here as far as our services. We are 100% on solar power and 100% on rainwater. And this is the heart of it. This is where my water pump is, my water filters, and as you can see behind me, my 48 volt power bank, my battery bank, and also to my right, which is right about there, we have my 6,000 watt Ames inverter that services the shop and the house. This little 3,000 watt inverter that powers only this room. It's independent from this one. And then of course we have our sub panel and our charge controller for our solar panels. So being that this is the heart of the whole ranch, guys, I want to protect the contents in here. Now right now it's a bit messy. As you can see, we just moved here. We just started our 4th month. We've been here 3 months full time already. And it is becoming very, very cold outside, if you can't tell. I've got my beanie on, my hoodie. My hands are frozen. It is cold in here, guys. It is cold in here. So that's why I'm here today. I was able to purchase 2 of this R13 insulation. And I'm going to install it today. All the stuff I have right now, the insulation, is going for the ceiling, because we all know heat rises, right? So I want to slow down that transfer of heat from coming from the building to outside, and to do that I'm going to use this insulation. I've already opened up one package of insulation. I've got it pre-cut here. This is about almost 8 feet, the span of the ceiling here. It's a real small building, but it does get very, very cold in here. Last year, I believe it was, we got so cold that the very expensive Grundfos pump that we had in here basically exploded. As a matter of fact, it's right there. As you can tell, it's exploded. I'm keeping this one for parts for the new pump that I have that you probably just heard that turning on. Now let me just go through this with you guys real quick. If you're concerned about the pump turning off and on, what does that mean? It means one of two things. Either water is being used at one of the fixtures, or I have got a leak somewhere. That's why the pump keeps on turning on. It pressurizes, and then once it reached its set pressure at 60 pounds, it'll shut itself off, so it's not continuously running. I just checked, and we do not have any leaks. But what I've done is I have a bucket over at the shower, and I've got it turned on very, very minutely, just for a few drips to come out and keep that pipe from freezing. It is extremely cold outside. It's windy, and I am very concerned about busted pipes. Not really in the shop, or I'm sorry, not really in the cabin, because the cabin is warm. It's very well insulated. And all the pipes are insulated. Everything is super warm over there. I'm not worried about that. I am worried about the shop, however, because I'm not done insulating the pipes that are underneath the shop in the crawl space. So I'm concerned about that. That's why I have a little bit of water trickling out in the shop. But don't worry, guys. As you know, we're on rainwater here, and every drop of water is important here on the homestead. All the dripping in the shop goes into a bucket. We simply take that bucket and dump it back into our tank. So it's constantly it's recycling. We're not wasting any water here. The only thing that this does do is it takes a little bit more electricity, because the pump is constantly turning off and on, which it normally doesn't do. So let's get started. I'm just going to put up a few pieces here, and then I'll show you the end product. But guys, this is so important. If you live in an area that is prone to very cold weather, it's imperative that you fix the heat loss, the heat transfer from your buildings, and especially around your plumbing. There are some places in the country that get so cold, the actual water sitting in P-traps for your shower or your sink or what have you will actually freeze and burst. And let me tell you from experience, guys, being a plumber for the last 32 years, it sucks fixing bursted pipes and broken pipes in cold weather. I mean, you inevitably will get a little wet. Your hands are frozen. They hurt. And that's something I don't want to deal with. So far, we haven't had any bursted pipes this year. Thank God. But it is one of those things. We need to be preemptive on it. And that's why I'm doing my best as finances allow me to keep going with insulation. I've still got a little bit of thermocell here, also in the shop, and I also have a little bit in my work van, which is here, my plumbing van. So I want to take all that along with the tape and this stuff here. This stuff that you probably saw in the last video. I've been wrapping the pipes in this, and then putting thermocell over that, and encasing the whole thing in a good layer of duct tape to hold it together. So protecting our water system is imperative here, guys. So I'll pause the video here. I want to get to start putting this in, and I'm going to show you what it looks like after that's accomplished. All right, welcome back, guys. So I got all the insulation I have up into the ceiling. I'm going to make these couple last little trims and talk about what's going on here. So let's trim these off to fit. By the way, if you have to trim a little bit, save these. Trust me. They're great for filling little cracks. I keep all the little cut-off pieces right over here. Oh, losing it. Losing it, folks. Don't pull on the insulation that you put in already. It'll start falling down. There we go. Alright, so a couple little pointers. One, if you don't want to bring a ladder in, if you have a low ceiling like this, I was using Home Depot bucket just to stand on to get these tall parts. And this little piece of PVC here just to help stretch my reach. So let's go over a few things. Number one, this is called faced insulation. Faced insulation. What that means basically, let me reset the camera here, is that this insulation comes backed with paper, which also, conveniently enough, have these little tabs of paper. These are to staple to the studs, and I will be doing that for the ceiling portion. I just got to go find my stapler that's somewhere hidden in a box in my, what is now being used as a storage shed, but in my shop I have a stapler for this. Keep these little pieces for little nooks and crannies that your rolls don't reach. Good to keep. So faced insulation, they also sell non-faced insulation typically, which is used on interior walls. I like the faced stuff. I think it looks better, until you get drywall up. And I like not having to touch the insulation itself as much as possible, and this paper helps do that. So we did have one issue. Let me take you over here. I'm one piece short, first of all, and it goes right there in that bay, right there. This bay, for some reason, is a little bit wider than the rest. All these studs are 16 inches on center, except that one. I don't know what happened. This was built many years ago, and it just is what it is. So I can't, even if I had a piece, I couldn't put it up there until I have the stapler to hold that in. What holds this insulation above my head is just friction from the size of the insulation to the sides of the rafters. So this is just R13, real simple, for 2x4 studs. That's it for the 2 rolls that I had. So far I've got 4 rolls installed in here. I have to do this as money permits. Each roll at Home Depot is about $25. So I have to just be careful on what I spend now that I'm kind of semi-retired. I don't make the money I used to, folks. So a lot of this stuff, we just got to do it slowly and do it as we can. So the ceiling, other than that one last bay, is done. Do I feel a significant change in here? Not really. But it's probably because I'm working and lifting and all this stuff. I'm probably warming myself up. But that's about it for insulation in here today, for the simple fact I don't have any more. I need to, I think I'm going to Home Depot possibly tomorrow to buy some more pipe insulation stuff, maybe some more of the pink stuff, and a couple other odds and ends that I need. So this is a slow process, guys. We definitely did not move here rich, and we don't anticipate in being rich anytime soon. So as money comes, that's when we improve the property. So it is what it is. That's one, I think one fallacy about a lot of these YouTube channels that talk about their homestead, that it's so cheap living off grid. And I guess in some ways it is. I mean, we don't pay rent, we don't pay mortgage. I mean, that's a huge bill off our plate. But what I'm trying to say is it is not free, and there's almost absolutely no way you can get by with not making some sort of income. Almost impossible. And I say almost because, you know, those who move off grid that are already independently wealthy, they don't have to worry about earning an income. We are not that guy. We are not independently wealthy. But we are making it work, whatever it takes to make it work, right? I'm going to use one of these little pieces to put in front of this air conditioner here. This air conditioner is a vented air conditioner. This is for the summertime, guys. I use this as a thermostat on there to keep this room cool in the summertime. It does get hot here, sometimes above 100 degrees. So I'm going to get this situated right in front of here so wind is not blowing in here. Once again, very important to protect your pipes, your equipment. Also, even though these are extreme temperature batteries, I would rather them not be in extreme conditions. The equipment in here by itself does give off heat. That's why both of my inverters right there have heat fans on it. If you can see, here's the Ames heat fan, and there's two heat fans to this 3000 watt. And that also, the inverter has a heat fan. So this equipment is pushing off some heat into the building, which is good for winter time. But summertime, the door is open, this window is open. If it gets real bad, the air conditioner comes on. So I need approximately 2, 4, 6, probably 6 more rolls of insulation in here. I've got 4 up already. We've got this whole back wall done. Right here, this whole back wall, which is where the equipment is. We have almost the entire ceiling, and we've got a little bit of this corner right here. So that's 4 rolls total. Looks like we're gonna need 4 or 5 more, but I'll just buy them slowly as I have been. Hopefully we don't get a real bad cold snap. But this is it, guys. One day, as soon as my shop is a shop again and we have more storage for stuff, almost all that you see in here will be gone. This room is going to be totally clean. I actually do want to put drywall up here at some point, just to make it nicer in here. There is going to be, I believe I'm going to put a little bench right here, a little work table with a chair. That way, if I need to crimp wires for solar equipment, I have all that stuff here, all my little bits and pieces for solar. This room is dedicated to solar and water only. I don't like that there's stuff in here that is being used as a storage shed at the moment, but I've got some pretty expensive music equipment in here that I don't want in the shop or around, you know, the animals. In here, they're relatively safe. So there's never been a mouse issue in this building. Everything's been sealed up pretty well. And I'm just looking forward to seeing how all this works. I did spend a lot of time insulating these water pipes. Here it is. There's the Grundfos pump. All this has been double and in some places triple insulated. And it has heat tape on every inch of pipe, even wrapped around the filters and the pump. So if we do get a cold snap, I'll come in here and I'll plug in that heat tape. And as soon as the temperature drops to, I don't know what it's set to, but before freezing, these kick on and they warm up. And they actually do a pretty decent job. They do draw a lot of power though, and typically if it gets that cold here, it means it's nighttime. It's dark, which means our solar panels are not producing power. And I don't like draining the batteries down with such an expense of power. But if it means saving my equipment, I absolutely will. I would even go as far as to starting the generator and having to listen to that all night just to protect the equipment. So, you know, life is different out here, guys. Life is different. I should have used a dust mask for this. But I'll get over it. You got to be prepared for what happens. Be prepared for the things that you don't know what's going to happen, and protect your investment. So there you go, guys. Insulating the ceiling in the power room. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, any suggestions. Suggestion 1, wear a dust mask when doing installation. But if you're new here, welcome. My name's Vaughn. We live here in northern Arizona, beautiful northern Arizona, where the skies are almost always blue. And we live totally off-grid, guys. All our water is rainwater collection. We filter it. We pump it through the property. We use it for showers. We use it for drinking after it's been burkified. We're totally on solar, 100%. We have no services ran to this property. All we have is what we've acquired and bought with the place and built ourselves. So this is it. If off-grid homesteading and this type of lifestyle interests you, please consider subscribing. We're almost to 800 subscribers, folks. I believe we're 6 or 7 subscriptions away from being 800. I think that's pretty impressive. I like that a lot. I think it's pretty neat that people are interested in this type of content. I know I am, but I'm weird. I'm weird like that. So stay safe, guys. Thanksgiving is coming. Stay warm. Get prepared. Do what you got to do to benefit yourself and your family and live a life that's more enjoyable. And for me and my family, this is the life that we really enjoy. So take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Prep and Thrive.